Hello there, YouTube family. Welcome again to yet another episode of Distance Bonds as we continue exploring the intricacies of maintaining love across borders. My name is Liz Macau, and today I saw it good diving deep into the story of familial long distance relationship. And that's why I have my new guest today, and I would love to have her introduce herself before we continue. Hi, Cynthia. Welcome.
Hi, Liz.
Hi, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
Uh-huh.
Thank you for having me here on your show.
You're
It's
welcome.
a pleasure and it's an honor to be here, honestly. I love the work that you're doing.
Thank you
And
so much.
yeah, so my name's Cynthia Kiarii Karanja, and I'm a mother. I am a public health advisor, and I'm a wife. Yeah, so that's
Wow.
about me.
Wow. Thank you so much for that, Cynthia. Yeah, let's dive into our topic today
Mhm.
as we explore familial long distance relationship.
Mhm.
You know, it's a tough journey to be in for sure. I've been here for 5 years, away from my family, and for sure I can tell you, like, it's really a tough journey to be in. But someone mentioned, someone we were talking with a friend of mine, and he happened to mention that every problem or every challenge has a solution. Is the what matters is how you face it, you know. So yeah, and I'm excited to share, to have you share this with us. So how did you find yourself in a in a familiar long distance relationship?
Yeah, well, it is true what you've said that yeah, there are so many challenges but we have to adjust to the challenges that come with these long distance relationships, be it family, be it love relationships. You just have to adjust. But my story begins when I was 23, when I was still living in Kenya, and then I got an opportunity to interview for a job outside of the country.
Wow.
Which thank God I got. And so I left home very early at 23. At that time, I thought
Yeah.
I was an adult. Honestly, I felt like, hey, this is my time to get
Yes.
out of this house
Yeah.
and go and enjoy and, be an adult. So I left home, but very, very, very fast, I realized that I wasn't the adult that I thought. Yeah,
No, once you
because
face the reality that comes with it,
yes, the
hapo ndo una
adulting.
realize, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Like when you're at home, your meals are being cooked for you, everything is being done for you. So once I got the job, I left, and I remember, if I can go back a little bit, when I got the job, I spoke to my dad, and he was telling me like, yeah, it's good that you have this job, but it's going to be very far away from the family.
Yeah.
So what do you think about it? I was like, what are you
What
talking
you
about?
mean?
When you took me to boarding, you thought I was going to cry, and I did not cry. So I'm okay being far away from you. I'll be good. And he said, okay. So when we got to the airport and everything, and you're saying goodbye, and I'd carried all my things. I
Yeah.
had carried, and everyone is telling
Like
me,
that.
yeah, why are you moving with everything? Like every single thing, why are you moving with? I'm like, because I'm going to start my life.
My
I'm an
life
adult
by
now.
myself, you know.
Reality hit me hard. When I settled down after the first week of being excited
Yeah.
about being away from family, you say first week, second week, you're still enjoying. You can go do your own shopping. Nobody's telling you what to get.
This is what I
Third
was
week,
looking forward to. Reality.
hey, you start missing people. There's the time difference. You can't talk to people all the time. You start, just being lonely because, again, it's a whole new country.
Yeah, new culture.
You don't know where the shops are. You don't know where how to get transport. Everything is new. Yeah. So I mean, at about 3 weeks, that's when the reality of the distance started hitting me.
Does that mean you didn't know anyone from that country?
Yeah. It was a job. I didn't know anyone. Well, for the job, I had traveled with a couple of other people from Kenya. But again, because we went and started training immediately, we didn't see each other. We were put in different trainings.
Yeah.
And so we weren't able to see each other all the time. But yeah, so I didn't know anyone. So you're just in the house. You have to figure out how to get to and fro. You have to get to figure out where to get your food from, everything. Like, think about all the basic things that when you're in your country, they're just like, I'll just go to this mama mboga and get my whatever managus or whatever, you know. This is where I get this is the price of tomatoes. If I'm going to the shop, I'll just carry this amount of money because I know the price of tomatoes. So it's small things like those that start making it a reality that you're far away from home.
Home, exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I want to believe from this was a job, right? Were you guys prepared, or like, were you guys prepared on what to expect out of job, not like in terms of job?
Yes, I can say the company did a good job of kind of preparing us, especially on the cultural part. So on that, we were mentally prepared.
Okay.
Because it was a completely different culture from what I'm used to. So on that aspect, yes, we were prepared. The part that I don't think anyone can prepare you for is the loneliness. Honestly, that's the part that nobody, people will tell you how fun it's going to be, how you'll make a lot of friends, how you'll meet people from different cultures. As if it's easy. But I think making friends when you're an adult is very difficult. Very difficult.
For sure.
But slowly by slowly, as you said, challenges, slowly by slowly, you start, the person who's next to you in training, you start talking to them, they become your friend. When you
Which still takes time.
Yeah, exactly. Because first you're acquaintances, right? And so and what I found most is that we continue to hold on. I continued to hold on to my friends back home, and such that if I wanted to talk to someone, I would wait until I was able to talk to my friends from back home. But again, distance makes relationships kind of fade out. And so very, very quickly you realize that now you need to start making meaningful connections with the people who are there.
Yeah, that's for sure. And talking about friends and family, I know you mentioned about loneliness, and one thing for sure I would tell you, just as you said, or I would echo your words, people will talk to you about challenges, or not even challenges, like how you're gonna enjoy the new place and all that, and just be prepared, like mentally, about the culture and all that. But there's one thing that stands for sure, that until you face it, until you experience it, like someone would be talking to you and then anakwambia like, this is how it is, this is how, and once you're in that country, or once in that situation, that's only when you can tell. And I feel like we rely more on fulani aliniambia huku kuna kwanga kuzuri, aliniambia like we can do it, like it's easy. But now ile time step your shoe in,
vitu kwa ground ni different.
So other than loneliness, because I know loneliness for sure, that's like you mentioned, it's not a number one challenge, but I would like to know some, like one of the challenge in your way, like it was hard for you to navigate.
For me, I'm a very I'm from a very close-knit family, and so another big challenge for me was missing out on a lot. So for the kind of job that I had, there were no regular off days. So you'd be off this day and you're not off, like like people have Saturdays and Sundays off. We didn't have regular off days. So you'd find that if there was a celebration at home, if I had time, I could go, but I didn't have enough time to go. Like I had the means to go, but I didn't have the time to go.
Because of
and
work.
I think that made it even more difficult, because you just feel, especially Christmas. I remember my first Christmas, because I went out of the country around October, and so Christmas was approaching. And I'm telling you, Liz, that was one of the most difficult Christmases that I've ever had.
Wow.
Because I cried. We video called with my family, and after that call, I cried like a baby, because I really felt the separation at that point. So missing important. For 5 years, Liz, I did not celebrate Christmas with my family.
5 years.
For 5 whole years. Because
Wow.
you're working.
Yes.
You're working, and you
Yes.
can't say, I can't say I won't work that day because I want to go home for Christmas. Because what happens to somebody else?
Exactly.
You know, important things like people who are sick and you want to go visit them. I remember my grandma used to get very sick around that time.
But
you just hear she's in the hospital. And you can't do anything about it, you know. So yeah, so that's another big challenge that I faced. The fact that you miss a lot of important moments
with family.
Yes, with family. And sometimes you kind of blame yourself, thinking that I wish I was closer. Maybe I would have done more if I was closer.
That was my next question. Through all this, because I understand that gap, like you always feel when you're far from your loved one. But through all those like challenges and having grandma being sick, Christmas you cannot attend just because you're working and all that. Is there a point where you regretted taking that step to go work outside the country?
Not really. No, I wouldn't say that I regretted anything, mainly because I had a good support system.
Okay, good.
You
That's
see, even
so important.
Yeah, because even in these moments that I'm crying, I will cry and then I will call my family and I will tell them how much I'm what I'm going through. And they will just encourage me. They'll tell me, remember why you're there, remember, like we're here for you, we still love you. And to be honest, also technology helped a lot, because sometimes I try to think about the people who used to live, 4 phones were there, and you travel, and you have to wait for a letter 3 months.
Oh my goodness.
Somebody sends a photo. People used to come to America and send photos when they're in the snow, and then you get them
in summer.
In summer, the snow already went. So that I thank God for technology, honestly, because with WhatsApp, with FaceTime, you feel like the person is there with you, right?
Hey, talking about WhatsApp, hey, I almost asked you about like your age, because when I started my long distance relationship, there was nothing like WhatsApp. Yeah, I had to go to a cyber to send an email. Yeah, there was no WhatsApp. I can't really remember WhatsApp ilikuja lini, but I know there was no WhatsApp. Kwa hivyo,
but I'm sure
I'm about to guess your age.
By the time I started working, there already was WhatsApp. I remember I was using WhatsApp a lot to communicate with me. I'm dreaming. No, I think there was WhatsApp because there was constant communication with my family. I was able to communicate with them constantly.
So in these 5 years, you're far from your family. Are you in the same country? Are you in one country, or are you traveling from different countries?
I'm traveling. I'm traveling to different countries, which even makes it even more difficult. Like it just adds on to these challenges because you're somewhere that is 1 day ahead of Kenya. So if say my family wanted to communicate something important to me, I'm sleeping, I can't find it tomorrow morning. It got to a point where I just embraced this mentality of I'm not in Kenya, I'm not present, and so it will get solved. I don't have to carry this burden as my own all the time. It will get solved. And it's true. You're not there. There's not much you can do. Even if they tell you, that this and this is, there's nothing much you can do. You can just support them. You see? So I think God just gives you grace to accept the things that you cannot change.
You cannot change,
So traveling a lot was also another challenge.
Wow. I kind of, when you're talking about like you not being there, and you know, things do happen. Like unaamka leo, kesho home kumenyesha, like people are being like a lot of families are being affected and all that. A lot of things are happening back home, and there's a time I really like would push them to like tell me or update me of what is happening home. Like I don't wanna wake up and you know, this and this happened to my brother, and you know what, you were able to take care of and all that. Like they got over that situation, and you're like, why did they not tell me, you know? And ikafika mahali I felt like I really wanted to be part of, you know, part of whatever is happening home. And you have mentioned something very important, that you know, life really has to continue. Like you don't have to like be involved in everything, you know, and you have to accept the fact that you are far away from them. So
I think
do you
it's
think
sorry to cut you off, but I think it is important for them to tell you, because obviously it's part of you maintaining that connection with them. So it is important for them to tell you. What I tried to get over was the guilt that I was talking about, the
you
guilt
not
of me
helping.
feeling like maybe I need to be closer to my family so that I'm there for them in this moment. You understand? So trying to get over that guilt honestly takes God's grace to know that they honestly just accept it as it is right now, and God will give them, pray that God gives them the strength to get over that situation even without you there. Understand?
Because we are kind of convinced kama ningekuwa home, I'm sure
maybe
like
hii ingefanyika,
you know, ama ningesaidia, you know.
Ama like, how are they feeling that I'm not there? Do they feel like I've abandoned them?
Exactly.
You know, like, are they wondering where I am? Okay, kumbe all these things are just in your head. People are just
and people are living their life. They know like you're part of them. They know you're far away. And I remember sometime mom would tell me like, hatutaki stress. You know, it's not even the helping part of it, but also the mental part of it, you know? Like, because they are thinking about you, you know, hata wake kwa a certain situation, whether it's a good situation or a bad situation, they are thinking about you. Na wewe uko hapa unajistress like maybe if I was there, maybe like, you know, so ni vitu tu ziko kwa akili zetu, but then again it's because there's a part that is missing, there's a gap that is missing, and you're trying to bridge that gap.
Exactly. Like human beings, I think connection is the most important thing to human beings. Seriously. And people take it for granted when you're together. When you go away from the people that you love, you know how they say you don't know what you have until you lose it. You take it for granted. That connection, just knowing, even knowing on time that something is happening is important. It's important.
It's very important, for sure.
Yeah.
So we are talking about 5 years of you being away from your family. Within these 5 years, are we talking about even the current, like currently, or
no? And I'll tell you what, I thought those 5 years were difficult. At least those 5 years, my job gave me the opportunity to keep going home. Like after my training period, I was able to go home like almost every 2 months. I was going home. I used to see people, just that I wasn't seeing them daily.
How long did the training take?
2 months.
2 months.
But after that, the other 5 years, me used to be home almost all the time.
Wow.
It's just that for those important, like for milestones, for celebrations, you couldn't be certain that you'll attend, right? Because you might be on duty working, so you wouldn't, sometimes you'd miss them. But if it's just going home, seeing people, that was okay.
That's 5 years.
5 years. After 5 years, life just sent me farther away.
My.
So now I thought I was having it tough. And I came to
Within those
realize
5 years now,
you're somewhere where you can't just go home, kimalenge malenge. You just have to stay where you are, because resources are limited, time is like circumstances just force you to be where you are. So I moved miles further away from home. After the 5 years.
Okay. Here we go. Now I'm
Yeah.
interested to know why you moved further away. Is it because of work
No, well, it wasn't, because it was for family. So I
or
started my
still
own,
family?
yes, I started
Your own
yeah,
family.
my own family.
Okay.
And as a family,
Mhm.
we got the opportunity to move
Mhm.
and now to come here
In
into
the
the
United
United
States.
States.
Yeah.
Yes. So now I came here with
Mhm.
my husband,
Mhm.
and then now I left everyone
So let's
else.
just say after your 23rd birthday,
Mm-hmm.
it's like the way dunia inakuchukua sasa, like
Kabisa.
back home tunajua like after your form 4, once umepelekwa college, now you are on your own,
Yes.
and it's crazy because once you are done with college, I think college ndio tunakuwa prepared of being adults and all that. And here comes Cynthia after college, you get a job outside the country, and Cynthia is, hyping herself, I'm moving away from my parents, na uko
I'm
pale
Miss
kwanza, like you
Independent.
just don't wanna waste time. Bora
Miss
umeshapata hii job,
Independent. Guy.
independent and all that. So I feel like, so from after your 23rd birthday, let's say, you are introduced to another whole world of being
Yes,
by
by
yourself,
myself,
and
yeah.
you are not given a chance now to be a baby anymore under
Yes,
your parents,
yes, yeah.
So umemaliza your 5 years
Uh-huh.
working, and now life happens and you find yourself now even further.
Further away, yes.
Was that a good thing, or would you say these 5 years prepared you for now the other years that were to come, of you being away, like farther away now from your family?
Yes.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah. And that makes me, thinking about it, um, makes me believe more in God's purposes and His plans. Because now that you've mentioned it, I see. Yeah, it's true. Maybe God was preparing me, because remember I told you I'm like me. I'm so close to my family.
Yes.
I'm like, when I go home, I feel like I'm the baby still. So maybe God, this was trisex for him, like to see how far he can take me. And so it's true. Thinking about it now, I've never thought it about it that way, but it's true that it could be that God was preparing me for now this long distance.
It's just the same
Just
thing I
being
was
further
saying.
away from
The plans that God has for us, like if he was to sit here and then umuulize God, what do you have for me next
you
year?
will be shocked. Utapigwa
You
na
can
butwa.
imagine being away from your family for 5 years, you're
Yeah.
already like facing all these challenges. Alafu Mungu akuja akwambia, na by the way,
And
you need to
in my
prepare.
head, when I was going to this job, I had given myself 5 years, and that's it. After 5 years, I'll go back to Kenya.
Okay.
So after these 5 years, my plan was to go back to Kenya and live vizuri with
Little
my
did you
family.
know.
Little did I
God
know.
says, for I know for the plans that I have for you. So
But they're all good
they
at
are
the
all
end.
good
They are
plans
all
as
good,
long as they are from
because
God. They
I
are
would
all good.
never have it any other way.
Mhm.
I would never have it any other way. I remember when I came here, that first year was again a bit difficult.
Yeah, because now it's a different country.
And you see, I was so used, as I said, to go back home whenever, even though there was distance, I was used to going back home.
Yes.
Now here, that whole year, I didn't get to go back home, and that was so difficult for me. I used to feel so like down, even though I had family here, even though I had my husband. I still felt like I
And
wish we were
also the
home.
mentality that it's somewhere far away from home.
Yeah.
That doesn't help.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then I kept feeling like I was missing on connecting with
People.
my in-laws, because again, even after now, see, I was away, and then now I've met them, and then I've left. You see, so I also felt like I was missing out on that part.
Oh, you didn't get a chance to like spend more time with them before you left.
To get to know them to get to know me. So even when you're talking on the phone, you feel like you're strangers. But it gets better over time. Honestly, it does. It gets better over time.
Wow. Well, talking of your siblings, especially, I know we have like great times with our siblings growing up and all that. What is one thing during that long distance or familiar long distance, what is one thing that you missed or you still miss because you're still not close to them?
Yeah.
What is that one thing that you miss about them?
I think mostly seeing them grow because my sisters are younger than me, and when I left, they were really young. They were, I guess, like 5 and 6. So now they're teenagers, they're big girls, and just seeing them grow, I think I've missed that. I've
That
missed,
part,
yeah.
yeah.
And we really try to maintain the connection by talking on phone.
Yeah.
When they're out from school, we keep texting and talking, but it's not the same, you know.
Wow.
It
Yeah.
can't, you can't replace being there. Yeah, but
Wow.
such things is what I miss from them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know. Talking about like video calling them and all that. I'm thinking about technology. Do you feel like technology has played a big part in like helping those who are in long distance relationships bridge those gaps?
Yeah, it really has. And it has, one, in maintaining connections, but two, even in being able, remember, one of the challenges is missing out on milestones, right? Or missing out on
Yeah.
family things.
Yeah.
So the second thing is that it helps in connecting you to those things.
Family, yeah.
Because if there's burial nowadays, they
Yes,
put it on
yes,
YouTube,
yes.
right? So you get to attend. And I think this year for me has shown me the blessing of technology in that sense, that difficult moments happen in life, but you're able to connect even in those moments, and not feel like you don't get closure. Yeah.
Wow. And talking of that, I know there's something that you mentioned, and I've met different people, and I have also gone through that. And I'd also like to know if you've gone through that loss, you know, while you're far away from your family, losing someone.
Yeah.
Of course, it's tough,
Yeah.
whether you're close or far. But now here, like there's an aspect of losing someone while you're far away, and mostly, especially here, due to different circumstances, you might not even be able to go back home for burial and all that. Is that something you've faced?
Yeah, yes, I have faced that, and I think this year has been, challenging in that aspect, that I've lost a couple of people that were very close to me, and you feel, I don't know if it's African culture or if it's just personality, but you feel that if you're not there to see them being buried, it's like you will not have closure.
Okay.
And this, me being here so far away from home, really brought that home. Like it made me experience that, because I remember the first person that I lost, I wasn't able to travel back home for their burial, and that was so difficult for me, because I had not seen them in a long time.
Yeah.
And now you're being told that, and then it was a
You didn't
sudden
even
death.
accept it.
Yeah, it was a sudden death, so it's not something that you are mentally prepared for. You're being told that they've left you, and you won't be able to go see them being buried. Yeah. So
I can
that was
imagine how
difficult.
that is.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so I know a lot of people that go through that because of being far away from home. Yeah, you and we might joke around about missing Christmas and all this, but such moments,
Really
that one,
hit home.
those moments hit home.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I lost. I came here in 2019, and a few months later, I lost my grandma, who was sick even before I left. And I remember having conversation with my husband while he was here, and I would be like updating him on how grandma is doing while I was back home, right? And then we would just be discussing how, like, she needs to be taken care of, some of the medicines she needs to be given. Like, I was so close to her. So coming here after a few months, she was taken to a hospital in Nairobi, and in few days and this this really really broke my heart, because I woke up and the first thing I saw from my phone is a message that grandma had passed on, and remember, it's just few months after I came here, so I already know that I cannot travel. And the number one reason is because I had gotten a job like a month before that, so I already know I cannot travel, and this is someone that was super close to my heart, wale watoto wa shush wanaspoiliangwa sana na their shush. I'm one of them. Yeah, and I was named after her. Was super close and all of that. Even before that happened, we had talked Christmas. Yeah, like the year that I came here, like Christmas 2019, we talked, tukaongea kuhusu Christmas and all that, and then 2 months after that, she's normal,
gone, so, and it's someone that you've just seen, that you were just with. That must have been so
she
difficult.
was staying with my mom because of her health and her health and all that. So like I found it so difficult, like accepting that she's not she's normal, and also having to like accept the fact that I cannot attend her wedding, So I just thought about that when you mentioned about funerals and all that, and I feel like these are some of the things that we take for granted when we are maybe we are close to our loved ones, and sasa zikianza happen when we are not there, that's when you know how to treasure some moments with your loved ones.
That is so true. That is so true. And it's funny because sometimes even the people who are close to that person, they don't realize the gift that they have to be there for that moment.
I wish.
To even be there in their last moments, they don't realize that gift that they have. And unless when you're far away, that's when you realize that, hey, kumbe, this is a blessing. Because you really wish you were there. You were there for them. For me, even I don't know. That the other person that I was talking about that passed on. I remember another difficult thing for me is thinking that if only I could bring them here to be with me, and take them to hospitals here, and maybe there's things that the doctors here will see that the other doctors at home didn't see. Like, you just wish that there's more you could do. And no dig to Kenya, but I think like healthcare here is better than back home. And so you think, wow, if only I had the ability to bring them here to just get checked, So things like those, it comes with a lot of guilt.
And you start thinking, like, you start feeling like you didn't do enough to help, even though like you're far away from them.
Like if you were there, you would go visit them, you would make sure they have the medications that they need.
And then you start feeling like maybe like hata labda hakuwa anapewa fruits enough. You start like,
but no, it also teaches you to trust the people that are there with them. Like to know that those people love them too, and that they are taking good care of them. Saa zingine, if you're a control freak like me, you learn to give out the control, like to give away control and say,
and
again, wash your hands and say, I'll pray and I'll do my best while I'm here,
and
I trust that God will do the
person
rest.
is in good hands. And all this, like sometimes when like inatulemea or it's overwhelming in our minds, I always tend to remind myself that there's God who knew like this kind of situation will once come to happen. I will not be there, and he knows the people who are gonna be close to maybe to come grandma or your loved one and all that. So I tend to remind myself that the God that I trust is still there, and he's working, and he's in control. So that kind of gives me the strength to come over that situation.
Hata kama you're there, you're not there, God is still there.
He's still there, like, and he's working, but there's that aspect of us being human beings, and just wanting to help and wanting to, be there, and just
loss is
difficult. Part of the family, it's not I think that's why it's not easy. Like, kama like Mungu angekuwa anakuambia this is what I'm planning for you tomorrow and all that. Yeah, and I'm so sorry for the loss of your loved ones. I know one happened recently, and at least you got the chance to travel back home.
Yes.
Yeah,
I thank God for that.
How was that feeling, considering that you know, once it happened and you were not able to travel, but this one you were able to travel and have like.
I was so grateful. I was so grateful that I had that opportunity and I was able to go home.
Yeah.
And even, you know, as we mourned together as a family.
Yes.
And I got the closure that I did not get with the other person. And yeah, loss is difficult when you're far away.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thank God for that opportunity that I got, you know, to be with my family during that time. Yeah.
Yeah. Talk to me about your parents. So taking you back, you left when you were 23 years old, and you mentioned about calling dad or sometimes calling mom just to, like, you know, when faced with challenges, and sometimes not even challenges, just wanting to vent, you know.
Yeah.
So talk to me about mom and dad. Were they more concerned of you being away from them? And you know how parents are, they can be overprotective, like, you know.
I think my parents were more overprotective when I was in Kenya than when I was away.
Really?
Yes. No, it's me
Why
who
do you
was
think
looking
so?
for them
Yeah.
when I was away. Because when I was in Kenya, I used to feel like, especially when I was in campus,
Yeah.
I used to feel
Like
wananikazia
controlling
life.
you, yeah.
Hey, my dad used to be, because I insisted I wanted to live outside of school.
Yeah.
I mean, outside of home,
Yeah.
to live in school.
Yeah.
And so my dad used to be like, every weekend you have to come home. Every weekend you have to. I had a curfew. So when I moved away, you put the curfew for yourself.
I know. And did you feel like they didn't have a say to that? That's why, like, they were like, you know what,
Yeah,
maybe
maybe it's that they didn't have a say, but I think also as parents, it fika a point where unaachilia, unasema penye nimemfikisha, what I've done so far should be enough, and now the rest I give, the rest naachia God. Because honestly, what could they do? And you know, it's not just that when somebody moves away from your country, even when you're close to your parents, at a certain age, your parents just have to let go of you, right? So I think my parents just had to let go a little bit earlier than they would have hoped for. But honestly, I was the one looking for them more than they were for me.
Wow.
Hawako wananiingilia tu, what are you doing?
You're the firstborn in your family, right?
I'm the firstborn, yes. I'm the firstborn, so so lakini mimi the part that I felt like the values my parents had instilled in me, like they were still there, is when now after I had moved away, see, I told you, like, I was so ready for this adulthood. I was ready to party like a crazy animal.
Outside the country, like, hakuna time
you have a salary, uko na kwako, unafanya kitu unataka with your own money. Who is going to ask you?
Hakuna time tulikuwa tunangoja
you
kama
go wild kidogo kidogo, naangalia bank account, naanza kusema kumbe when you have too much fun, the bank account doesn't agree with it.
Responsibilities zinaanza kukukumbusha,
you still have to buy food, you still have to take care of yourself. So the values that your parents had instilled in you start coming back. You realize, kumbe saving is a thing. Kumbe putting money away for bills is a thing.
It's a thing.
I think that made it easier for even my parents when they noticed that sasa nimeanza kuwa more responsible.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And do you think hiyo ilichangiwa na the fact that now you're on your own? You know, you still can call your parents to ask them for money, yes. But do you feel like the fact that now you're on your own, you're by yourself, you're like, everything now it's on you?
Yes, yeah, for sure. When you see a bill coming in with your name written on it, hey, that's when reality hits you that
Even today.
yeah, when you see that bill is saying due
Yeah.
and it's your name on top there,
Yeah.
so it's not your parent who's going to take care of it. That's when it hits you that this thing
This is
is
your
me. Yeah, this
responsibility.
is me. I can't be buying handbags all the time and forgetting that I need to pay bills. Whereas when I was in Kenya, when you're getting pocket money,
Yeah.
you're just spending it however, because you know you can always call back to say,
Yeah.
please send me more money. Yeah,
Exactly.
so this one makes you more responsible.
And remember, you left home to go work.
Yeah.
You didn't leave home to go.
Kwa hivyo hata them they are depending on you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so it makes you more responsible. It does.
And that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Yeah, it was a good thing. Let's just say it was a good
I'm sure
thing.
there are so many maybe Gen Zs who would not agree with me that that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But once they get there, what understand what I'm trying to mean.
Wanaulizanga, that woman who fought for women to work,
Yeah.
what was she thinking? Nani alimwambia we don't want to sit and look pretty? Yeah.
Yani someone just woke up and went to fight for us to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well. So Cynthia, I know long distance relationships come with a lot of challenges, and of course we've talked about a lot of challenges. Do you think there are some benefits that come with it, that come for with you being far away from your loved one?
Oh, definitely. I think there are for everything in life there's a silver lining, right?
I know,
Yeah. So one of the benefits that I can think of is that you get to know yourself. You get to understand who is Cynthia, who is Liz, because you are away from what has defined you for such a long time.
Yes, since you were born.
Yes, exactly. The only way you know how to identify yourself is as a daughter, as a whatever, as a sister or a brother, however it may be. But when you go away, now you have to discover, who am I? What are my values? What do I stand for? What do I not stand for?
Yeah.
What are my limits? You get to discover yourself. You get to discover new interests, right? Because there are no limits to what you can do. You discover new talents.
Yeah.
There's a lot of benefits of
That
being
come
away.
with
Yeah.
it, yeah.
But and then another thing is also that you're able, if it's an opportunity that can help you help a bit back home, right?
Yeah.
If you're earning maybe more than you would when you were back home,
Yeah.
and you're able to support the people back home.
Yeah. And that
So
feels good,
it does.
at least to play a part in someone's life. That if you someone would mention that to you maybe 10 years ago, before you left your country to go work somewhere, or even being here, if someone would mention to you like siku moja someone is going to be depending on you, maybe school fees or maybe just the help that you can give while you're here, maybe ungesema that's something you would, unaona, kwa sababu being the little girl that you are, and now grow in such a way that you're somewhere and you can help. It really like brings some
It does.
fulfillment.
Yes, it does. It does. And seeing people benefiting from where you are,
no matter
it's
how
an
little
amazing,
the help is.
it's an amazing feeling. It's
for sure.
So if somebody has the opportunity, I would say don't be afraid of distance. Just take it.
Yeah. The reason is why I asked that question is because I don't want us to like focus more on, these were the challenges, this is how I overcame the challenges. Okay, every situation come with their advantages and the disadvantages. And I really am into this to learn what are some of these like advantages now, because mi ukianza kuniongelesha nitakwambia cha nikwambie like hiyo loneliness.
I don't know why as human beings we focus so much on
we
the
focus
difficult.
more on that, but then looking back unasema like I saw someone today had posted something. In fact, it's not someone, let me just say it was my sister posting something, and she was like, we leave home to change home.
That's deep.
Yeah, that's deep. We leave home to change home. If you're given that opportunity, whether it's your family or even people that you know around your family, sometimes unaona watu wanasaidiana, wanasaidia hata neighbors, wanasaidia community. It's because like you were given the opportunity to live your purpose. And I feel like as much as we feel like we are far away from our loved ones, and we feel that void, and we're trying to navigate like bridging those gaps and all that, we also need to look back and thank God for that opportunity. That there's a reason as to why it's not your brother or your cousin who is here, it's you. But being part of that family that you left home, like now you can help, you can help while here. It really is a good thing. And there's a reason as why God said it's you.
It's exactly
it's you.
Yeah.
So
And you better take advantage of that, and
that
don't
for
forget,
sure.
don't forget where you've come from. But another thing I've thought of also is the connections that you make, right? Because when you're back home, you already have your circle.
Yes.
And you sometimes are afraid to get out of that circle. But when you leave and you're uncomfortable and you have to make new friends, it opens your mind, it opens you in different ways.
Exactly.
And so you're able to make more connections than you would have ever thought.
Which also contributes to your self-growth.
Exactly, because you meet people that introduce you to new things, new ways of thinking. Unless you leave home, you will always think your mother is the best cook, right?
Exactly.
So you get to discover new things. So there are a lot of advantages.
And benefits for sure.
Yeah.
Well, okay, before we wind up, I'm sure like a lot of people are still moving in United States and living home, maybe not even United States alone, but in different to different countries. And I know if they watch this video, there are so many things that they're gonna relate with and all that. So we have a lot of nurses who are coming from home, and I believe it's not only Kenya, but also like
UK, Australia,
and some of the countries from home. And I would love to give you this opportunity to at least give them an advice. And maybe mention to them what they should expect. And just share with them some of the ways that worked for you to keep that connections with your family.
Definitely. So for anyone who's moving away from home, what I'd like to say is that first of all, understand where you're going, the place that you're moving to. Research. It's very good that we now have the internet and you can research and get to know what's the culture, how are you going to live there, what are the things that you need to know before you move to that country. That's very important because it's going to make your transition easy. The second thing that I would say is that it's very important to always remind yourself of who you are, especially if you're a young person moving away from home. Always remember who you are. Do not leave that, because if you leave that, it's going to be very easy to get lost in the world and in the things that maybe you would never have done before. So remind yourself of who you are, where you've come from, and never forget that. The third thing is to maintain contact with your loved ones. People might move away, and it is difficult to maintain those connections, but it's very important to maintain them, because no matter what, your family is going to remain your family. So take care of them, remember them. Do not come and live your life as if you do not have a family. So I think that's all that I would say.
Good. And something important you just reminded me I'd like to add is whether you're a young person or someone who is like older than I am or our age, honestly, leaving your country, it's a thing. But maintaining that, there's that excitement that comes with you living your country, somewhere you've grown for over like 20 years, and coming to start life in a different country. As she has mentioned, you always do not know what you're coming to face here. Your expectations might not be the reality that you're coming to face here. One thing I would like to remind each and everyone, please, let's try and maintain our culture. Let's try and as long as like you understand where you've come from, and just for the respect of our culture. Like I try as much as I can to maintain that,
Yes.
because I still want to feel connected to where I grew up from, even though I am learning a different culture, which I love, you know, just like exploring some different ways of cooking, different ways of dressing, maybe different ways of talking to different people. I still want to feel connected to the culture that I left home. And that is very important. Yeah, something else also, like I keep mentioning, is communication is very important while in a long distance relationship. And the fact that we face all these challenges while in familial long distance relationship, love relationship, and also friendship, I would like to remind you this: the challenges that we face are only there to push us to do better in connecting with our loved ones. So let's make sure to like maintain that. And this distance won't define what you have for your family. It won't define what you have between you, what is there between you and your family. So feel loved if you are in this situation. We really, really do understand. We're still in the same situation. We are trying our possible best, like to, you know, keep connecting with our families where we can. So we feel you, and I hope when you watch this video, you're gonna relate with us, and at least you're gonna feel encouraged. And I'm sure the people from our countries will love you, our family members will love you, and we really miss you. And honestly, like the only thing that is keeping us together is our hearts, and we love you so much. Well, Cynthia, we have come to the end of our episode today. Thank you so much for coming. That meant a lot to us, and I really enjoyed like listening to your story. And I hope my viewers have learned a thing or two. And we're looking forward to have you come again. Remember, we are not done yet.
Stop.
We're not done
Thank
yet.
you.
Yeah. Yeah. So welcome again and again, and thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you for having me. This was fun. It was amazing. It was a nice talk. And you're an amazing host.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Bye-bye.